Okay, what I have here is some apples. Now, I showed you one way how you can do apples by canning them. But sometimes you don't get that many apples, maybe 3 or 4. And it's not really worth canning them. So, what I do is freeze them. That's right. I have some water here with a little bit of lemon juice in it. You know, the bottle kind that you use for canning when a recipe calls for you to add a spoon or so to whatever it is you're getting ready to water bath can. And so I just put a little bit of lemon juice in that right there. I have a few apples here. It doesn't matter. This is Granny Smith, Fuji. Who cares? And this is a quart jar. I save my old lids. There's water spot on top of that. I save my old lids. I don't throw them away after I open them up because I can use them when I just want to put something in the freezer. And that's what I'm going to do with these apples. So let me get some of them peeled and cut up and into this water we have here. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay. You see how I have this apple peeled? I'm going to go right here, cut down the center. Let's see if I can do this for the camera here. Okay, and I'm going to take this part out. And this bottom part. I'm not worried if I cut a big hunk out. No, I do not have an apple core and none of that because I really don't do much with apples. I'm only doing it in this instance because I was given the apples. I didn't buy them. I don't buy apples. We don't have a lot of people in my family that are really big apple fans, but I do like apple pie. So this is what I'm going to do is take this center out with a knife and I'm going to cut this again. I'm going to throw it right here. I don't, if you can see this, right in that liquid that I have water, that I have with lemon juice in it, okay? I'm going to continue to do these apples, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. Okay, I have these apples. I put them in a pan, and I'm going to add some sugar and some water to them. I've got a half a cup of sugar here and a third a cup of water I'm going to add to it. Now, these make what I call great fried apple pies. And you can use canned biscuits. You know, you can make your own pie crust, single layer, you know, pie crust, roll it out. And then on one half of the pie crust, you can pour this on it, fold it over, and crimp the edges to it and bake it in the oven. Wonderful. Either way, served with vanilla ice cream. I added a dash of cinnamon. I'm not so sure I've got enough cinnamon in there just yet, but I'm going to stir it around to see. And I want to cook these down, you know, till they're nice, soft, and tender because I'm going to freeze these. Now, this is a great way of freezing just a few apples. You know, if you wanted to make these fried apple pies, you could go to the store and just buy yourself 2 apples. And just, you know, put a little sugar over them, a small amount of water, cook them till they're soft and tender, and then just roll out your biscuit dough like a little pie, like a little crust. And then just fill one side of it and then fold it over and then fry them on each side. Now, here they are, nice and cooked. I cooked them for about 45 minutes because I wanted to cook the syrup down. I wanted the apples to take on that sugary cinnamon taste to it. And I'm going to put them in a quart jar. Now, I'm not going to fill these quart jars completely full simply because a little of this goes a long way, especially if you use biscuits. Even if you don't, and you make your own pie crust and decide to bake it in the oven instead of making little fried pies. This stuff tastes awesome with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. So, you know, if you got this on hand, you know, even if you don't have the vanilla ice cream, they still taste good. And you put this in the freezer. All you do is just unthaw it when you're ready to use it. But it's a good way to preserve just a few apples. I mean, no one wants to go through the trouble of canning just 2 jars of apples, when this is something that you can just put in the jars and just freeze them, and they come out perfectly fine. They really do. As you can see, I've got 2 jars of this, and I'm not going to fill it all the way to the top. I'm not. And like I said before, I save my old lids for just this purpose. You don't want to use your old lids to can with, but they're perfect to use to reseal things that you're just going to freeze in your jars and put in the freezer. And that's what my plan is to do with this, is just freezing it to make those wonderful apple pies in the future. You can do, like I said, either way you want. It's up to you. My grandmother taught me this. My grandmother, tried a few things different, and she's the one who said, emergency came, family came that wasn't expected, or friends. It was easy for her to pull a jar of these out, and a can of biscuits, roll them out real quick, and make some fast, quick dessert for unexpected guests. And trust me, this is something I would serve a guest. I have served it to guests, and they actually liked it a lot. So this is something that I definitely would do, and serve friends, family, other people. I do it quite often when I, like I said, get my hands on apples. This is what I do. This is one of the things that I do with them. And sometimes if it's a lot, I'll just can them, But in this case, it was just a little bit. I didn't want them to go to waste, because let me tell you, with the times we're heading for and the times that we're looking at, every single little bit of food is going to make a big difference in our life and how well we live it and what we have to eat, and more of a variety of what we have to eat. So try this. It's really wonderful, and it's a good way. Who cares even if it's red delicious apples? It doesn't have to be a baking apple. Not for little fried pies. It just doesn't. And you can, like I said, the single pie crust, it doesn't matter for that either. You're just making a single crust, fold it over the top of the apples, crimp the sides, edges, and put it in that oven and bake it until it's nice and golden brown. Slice it, serve it on plates for family. If you have some vanilla ice cream, awesome, delicious. Well, God bless, and have a blessed day.